First, I want to say it's a pleasure to be interviewing you today.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
So, the first question I have for you is kind of a two-part question.
Hmm.
So, what was it like working with the new cast on that 90s show? And what was it like getting to reunite with some of the original cast of that 70s show?
Well, both answers are fantastic. It was incredible. The new cast, it was a dream come true. Tell you the truth. When we ended the show, it didn't feel like an ending. Even though it was the end of that '70s show, it didn't feel like it. And now here we are with a new beginning. Yeah.
Do you have like any like favorite moments or memories from both?
Yeah, yeah. I guess the last show, Deborah Joe, she called me instead of calling me Leo in the show. We're on camera, and she called me Tommy. She goes, I'm gonna miss you, Tommy." And it was so real that no one really caught it. And then at the end of the scene, someone mentioned it to her, and she go, "Oh, did I say that?" that was that was a favorite part. And then the news show, I go to do I did one segment with Kitty, and then I go to do another segment with the kids, and Laura is the director, and it just blew my
Oh,
mind.
cool.
Yeah, Donna's directing, and she's such a good
Way to go,
director.
Donna.
Yeah, she's so brilliant, in every which way, and so beautiful, and that was another favorite moment, having her direct us. It was great. It was this whole show it's beyond just uh, entertainment. I feel that we're in the age of teaching. We're using our entertainment as a teaching tool instead of like a lot of the shows, when they show the crime shows or the horror shows, and that it's all for effect, all for, oh, see how much blood and guts you can see. But the '70s show,
Yeah.
it was a teaching show. It was a show that kids wanted to watch, loved to watch, but yet they had to come away with some really good morals, some really good standards in their life, some really positive thing. Well, like everybody in the show, except for maybe Danny Masterson, who sort of strayed a little bit off the path. But everybody else,
Just a little bit.
yeah, everybody else elevated their game, and now that's why we can come back and do it again, because we weren't faking it. This is for real. And I think that's what puts the '70s show and now the '90s show apart from the other ones, that it's real. These are real kids. These are real kids with real problems, and such a bright future. And it just said, I think it just speaks for our culture, you know, because for a while there, it felt, during the punk era, it felt like we were heading down that anarchy kind of chaos road. Everything's too nice. I gotta mess it up somehow, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the '70s show and the '90s show just takes you. Yeah, there's all of that, but there's this, and there's that love and understanding and tenderness and touchingness, and all the sweetness that comes with that show. And I'm so proud to be part of it.
Absolutely. So naturally, I have to talk to you about your relationship with Cheech.
Yeah.
So how has that friendship like stayed the same? Has it changed over the years? And do you guys have any intention of like working on something in the future?
Well, we are right now, actually. We're getting ready to shoot a movie with the characters as they are now. The both characters in Up in Smoke have aged and gone through quite a bit of life, and now we're back together, and it's going to be a movie, and it should be we should be shooting it sometime in March, April, somewhere around there, and yeah, yeah, and we jumped on the bandwagon too. See, Cheech and Chong was so organic that we've lasted this time, and because it's not over. You know what I'm saying? It's like a
Yeah.
series that everybody, wow, what's up now? What do you got to do? What's going on now? And that's what we're going. Uh, Cheech, he morphed away from his character uh, quite successfully, I might add. And whereas I stayed with my character. I liked the guy that I did, and that's really Leo in that '90s show. And getting back together again, it won't be Leo. It won't be. A it'll be Leo with more like a reality effect to it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's going to be good. And Cheech and Chong, you can't, Cheech and Chong, man, we're like we're like
Getting the
forever.
gang back together.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what it
So
is.
so you guys basically like kind of like started your own genre of
Yeah,
films with like the classic like stoner films.
yeah.
I wanted to get your take on like some of like the newer ones. Have you like gone out and like watched some of the newer ones like Pineapple Express? And
Oh
what
yeah, I've
are
seen them all.
what are your thoughts on some of the newer ones?
I've seen them all. I'm just, I feel very proud that we sort of like lit the spark, for people to carry the torch, to carry their way. Yeah, because everybody's different, and and the fact that we encouraged, a lot of the Pineapple Expresses and Fridays. There's we yeah, you're right, a whole genre. But we weren't the first. Uh, they a couple of um, reporters, I guess, were they asked Jerry. They were talking to Jerry Lewis, and they said, there's no comedy teams anymore. And Jerry Lewis says, I beg to differ. You got Cheech and Chong. And so what Cheech and Chong really did was just carry on the tradition of the comedy teams, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and we did it very well. We did it for a lot of years, and we're still doing it.
Still doing it.
Yeah.
So I have one more question for you. Uh and it's like kind of like a more like serious kind of question. I just wanted to get what your take is on the changes over the last few years in regards to like legalizing marijuana across more states.
Yeah, it's like America stumbling through the Trump era, and it's kind of ironic that weed was made legal the same time Trump got elected, uh, and it was the same ballot actually, and so it just shows you that God has a sense of humor, you know. I'm going to give you Trump, but don't worry, you're going to be so stoned the whole time you won't even know it. and that and and that's really what happened. Once Trump got in, and I was kind of hoping for Trump, like a lot of people, because we thought you never know, the guy might turn out to be a gem. You don't, especially with his building experience, even though he was more demolition man than anything else. I thought that he would do good for the country, with the infrastructure. But I was so wrong because he basically he's a criminal, a thief, and you can't change that. I
Yeah.
mean, thieves, liars, and thieves will steal from each other. When I was in prison, all the lockers had locks on them because you're in prison with a lot of thieves.
Yeah.
and there's a bit of an honor system, but not when it comes to valuables. And so you can't change the thing, but getting back to what we're doing uh, with the '90s show is, rather than, back in the day, the Puritans, they tried to hide uh, bad things, just pretend they're not there, or just say it's not happening, just ignore it,
Hmm.
and the good thing about the Trump era is that he's exposed everybody. There's a light on everybody. We know where everybody stands, so to speak, and we'll get through it. But we need shows like the '90s show to teach people how to behave, and how to be happy. Basically, that's what people are trying to do with their lives, is just be happy, do things that make them happy. But hurting other people is not a way to do it. And eventually
Yeah.
we will
I
learn.
definitely agree with that.
Yeah, we will learn, and I think the '90s show is definitely is going to help with that process, because it's the kids that we worry about. You know, the old folks, they're going to die off eventually, but it's the kids that are going to push everything forward with their kids and their kids. You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm so proud of the '90s show, because I'm part of that positive message that the world is getting.
Very, very nice. So I think I am just about out of time. It was wonderful to get to talk to you today.
Well, thank you. Let's do it again anytime you feel like it, man. I'm ready.